Preview.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your channel that you have loved, the podcast for everyone. This is your host, Cruize Makaveli on Cruise Talk Podcast. Today we want to shed light on important issues affecting our society, and today we want to delve in the dark reality faced by children under 18, focusing on crime, juvenile delinquency, abuse, and the Children Amendment Act that has been imposed by the Zimbabwe government. As we explore on these expressing issues and discuss the potential solutions, I want to introduce to you Mitchelle Muzanenhamo. She's a social worker, a youth advocate, and a children's advocate. How are you, Mitchelle?
I'm well, and yourself?
Is everything okay?
All is well.
All is well. Okay, Mitchelle, I want us to talk about children. Children are the future of our society, as we know,
Yes.
and but unfortunately, many of them face crime and unimaginable challenges that hinder their growth and the well-being of the children. So today we want to raise awareness to the people that are viewing this podcast, and also to raise awareness to Zimbabwe and the worldwide that we have to change the social issues that hinder our young ones, and with particular focus on crime, juvenile delinquency, child abuse, and the Zimbabwe Children Amendment Act. Before we dive into everything, I want to ask you a question. Do you have a child?
Yes, I do. Lots of them. I'm a mother of many.
Simply because you're a social worker. I mean, yours. Do you have a child? Yours.
Okay, actually I don't, but I do have a lot of children at home. My sister, I think they're around 15.
Okay. Crime is an unfortunate thing that has been happening in Zimbabwe, and has been affecting children worldwide. Let's take a closer look at some of the key points that are related to the issue, right? So we have rising involvement in crime activities. I want to give an example of a crime activity that has been done in Zimbabwe. A woman was jailed 4 years for trying to protect her hubby who raped a daughter. So the woman is a stepmother to the child. A 47-year woman. This is according to the Daily Mirror News, right? So a 47-year-old woman from Beitbridge has been jailed for an effective 4 years for trying to protect her husband who had raped and impregnated. Yeah, English is not my language. His 16-year-old daughter, right? The accused, who is a stepmother to the victim, who cannot be named, it is said to have induced an abortion on her stepdaughter. Rape, abortion, and who resulted for ill leading to discovery of the anomaly. The father, who has been arrested, is in custody and is expected to stand trial for rape 20 December 2023. The woman was convicted on the plea of guilty to unlawful termination of the pregnancy when she appeared before Beitbridge Magistrate Miss Vavariro Gabi on Monday afternoon. Let's talk about this. It's rising, and I have another example as well of a 23-year man who was jailed for 15 years for raping his 4-year-old daughter. The rise in criminal activity that has been done to children, it's really boring, and it's really depressing that we see that children are being affected. What do we do about these issues? How do you deal with these issues as a social worker and as a child activist?
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to just educate all the mothers out there. In case of divorce, mana kuna gogo. Let's not try to at least carry our children to the second marriage, because there are a lot of issues that will happen there. So I think it's best we take the child under the custody of the grandmother, whoever, but not the stepmother. Like in this case, the stepmother, she's the one who was involved in all the acts, committed abortion, and also she has been abusing the girl child. So yeah, and I don't think if it was her real daughter should have performed such an act. It's because she's a stepdaughter. So it's best that we try by all means to make sure we don't put our kids under the custody of stepmother, but rather under the custody of it's either me, the mother, or the grandparent. I think it's better that way.
So let's look into the impact of on the child's future. What does this impact on the child's future? In necessarily talking that the child has been raped, has done abortion. What does it impact on the child's life, and what are the challenges they face in terms of education, employment, and social integration?
Okay, there's this man that I love the most, Sigmund Freud. He termed what we call 5 stages of development, of child development, and each and every development has a part to play in the child life. So it is of important that the child attain each and every stage. So we getting to disturb the 5 stages of development of the child, it has an effect in the later life of the child. So the child being sexually abused at an early stage, it would definitely affect the child development in the future. You find that kids who have been exposed to abusive environment in the future, they tend to be violent themselves, even engage into criminal activities because of the upbringing. The things that we expose children into are the things that will mold the child into the later stage. So we have to make sure whenever the child is growing, we do not disturb these 5 stages of development.
Okay, I want to talk about the rehabilitation and prevention of these issues and these activities that have been done, the crime to children.
Okay.
Are there any successful rehabilitation programs that aim to strategize and reintegrate young offenders? Not young offenders. These young children, the young victims, into the society. And what are the importance of early intervention and prevention of stages to break the cycle of crime that has been committed to children?
Okay, first we need to deal with the crime itself. We need to address the root causes of juvenile delinquency. So you find out that most children are being abused at home by their parents, their peers, their neighbors, their guardians. So we need to address the root cause of juvenile delinquency first before we rehabilitate them into correctional services. So
But then, are there any successful rehabilitation programs? Don't neglect that question. Are there any successful rehabilitation programs that aim to integrate young children who have been affected by crimes, or from their mothers, from their people, or other people? Are there any successful programs in Zimbabwe?
they are successful to a late extent.
Can you name them? You're a social worker, you have to know.
Okay, we do have in Zimbabwe we have a few correctional rehabilitation centers for minors. We have Wawa in Gweru, and they are playing a vital role in trying to rehabilitating the children, molding them to be better persons in the future. But you find out that
what about those that have been affected, in the sense that they are the ones who are the victims, not the perpetrators? What about the victims, the children that have been not the children that have committed crime, but the children that have been committed crime on, right?
okay, the victims we have. Me, myself, I'm a counselor, and I'm responsible for delivering therapeutic sessions to those children to help them accept the situation and reintegrate into the society. We do have organizations standing firm for children who are being abused. We have Childline, you know of Childline, right? So that organization is working so hard to make sure that the rights of kids are being met. So they also offer counseling services to the victims of abuse. And we also have the victim-friendly unit under Zimbabwe Republic Police is also acting to fight for the rights of children and also delivering counseling services to the victims of abuse.
Before we talk on the next segment about juvenile delinquency, we want to dive into juvenile delinquency. I saw you. I heard you talking about juvenile delinquency. I know you have an organization, the Global Youth Space Development. Guys, you have to check on the Global Youth Space Development. She's the founder of the Global Youth Space Development, and it's been helping youth tackle social issues that are affecting them, and also into reintegrate into the society back. I want to ask you as a social worker and as a founder of that organization, have you ever dealt with children? Not. I know you deal with youth and people who are under the age of 18 up to 30, as governed by the United Nations. Do you ever work with children?
Okay, I will start by explaining the organization. Okay, well, as you said, I'm the founder of Golden Youth Space and Development Organization.
It's golden.
It's golden.
Not global.
It's
Guys,
golden.
it's golden.
Golden Youth Space. So the organization is divided into 4 parts. So youth, it's the one we define a youth is from the age of 25 up to the age of 34. And then below that, according to Golden Youth Space and Development Organization, that person remains a child. Then according to the Constitution of Zimbabwe and the African Charter, a child is someone who has not reached the age of 18. That's what they define a child as. And according to my organization, a child is someone who's below that age as well.
Do you mind explaining why you have that broad difference in, like you're saying, you start from 25 to 30, 34?
Yeah, from 25 to 34.
And the Zimbabwean Charter, you say the Zimbabwean Charter starts from 18 up to 35. Why the difference? Why do you feel that people who are under the age of 24 are still children?
Okay, according to me, like if you had to look at the economic situation of Zimbabwe, someone who is not a child is supposed to be dependent, and most of us, I myself, am still dependent on my mom.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
So you're still a child?
According to my mom, I'm still a child.
But then you have an organization that's working for the youth, and you're not yet that youth.
Yeah.
Isn't it a controversial issue?
Yeah, it is, but we also need to understand the social background, the cultural background. This organization was formed in Zimbabwe, and I myself am a Zimbabwean, and I'm also cultural sensitive, so I do take every situation into consideration.
Let's dive into juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency is a distressing topic when it comes to children committing crimes.
Rice and lay wangu takakurira mu rice and peace cheri rakaoma toda rights and peace kumberi kwakaoma don't leave your key get a you rise and lead.
This is your host Cruize Makaveli on Cruize Talk Podcast, and we were discussing issues about children, the importance of children, and juvenile delinquency, and as well child abuse. And with me here is Mitchelle Muzanenhamo. Mitchelle Muzanenhamo, as we go on to the issue about juvenile delinquency, let's talk about juvenile delinquency. It's a distressing issue that we have to find that children are committing crimes, and it's really boring that you see that it demands our attention. And let's explore the root causes of juvenile delinquency. What causes juvenile delinquency?
Okay, juvenile delinquency, these are antisocial behaviors performed by minors, children that have not reached the age of 18, or they've not attained their 18th birthday. That is according to the Children's Act of Zimbabwe, Chapter 5.76. So the root causes of juvenile delinquency can be traced back to their parental setting. It's because of the setting that they stay in, be it at home, the community, at school. So the root causes of juvenile delinquency is parenting, peer pressure, substance abuse. Yeah, to mention honestly.
So are you saying that if a child is being raised in a community where there is lack of good parenting, and if there are social issues that are happening at home, a child is to be affected and is to go into juvenile delinquency.
Exactly. If you are to look at unstable environments like Mbare and Mfakosi, that's where most of the criminal activity, especially juvenile delinquency, is occurring at. We have the recent issue of children who were caught abusing alcohol.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
specifically.
Let's talk
Remember
about that.
story?
Yeah, I remember. Let's talk about that. Those children were found drinking alcohol on Christmas, right?
Exactly.
And do you really necessarily have to say that it's because of their parents that they were drinking alcohol? Wasn't it about them personally? Because I found that the oldest of those children was 11, and some of them were 10, 9. Do you really have to say that it's the children, the mothers or the fathers that are happening at that point in time?
Okay, both parties are to be blamed. We have the parents, we have the community, we have the friends as well. If you have to look at those children, it was just a bunch of kids, they were friends.
Yeah.
So friends do play a part in juvenile delinquency. Interaction, they're the ones we socialize with. As for you, you're my friend, right? We
The peers, yeah, I get it.
we do socialize a lot. So there are high chances that I can copy your behavior. Whatever you do, I do the same thing. That influence which comes from friends, and also the community that we stay in, like what I said earlier, the unstable communities. We have Mbare, Mfako, say, where we have a lot of Shabins there, and it is said that those children, the one they managed to bought alcohol from a Shabin, and I understand that the person that sold alcohol to those children, someone above 18, but the fact that the environment that they stay in is prone to abuse, especially drug abuse. So the child tend to be abused in that kind of environment and cop negative behavior. It's all because of the environment that we stay in. And then we go to the last part, which is the parents. Parents do play a crucial role in behavior. You know, behavior is learned, right? Behavior is learned through observing their models.
So they are both observing these crimes
from their parents. The way, the Mitchelle that I am right now
It's because of your parents.
it's because of my parents. I grew up with my parents. I get to observe. I get to learn a lot from my parents. So the thing that children see when they're growing up is something that they will become when they grow up.
Let's move on. I want us to play a song from he's one of my friends, Bobo Calabash. He's a great musician. Let's hear his song and we dive into next thing.
Your D-Max. Ha. Bacometer, my degrees. Ha. It's Denga. From downtown to uptown, well, it's Calabash. The Bobo.
The song is about Wamboverengere newspaper. It's called Newspaper by Bobo Calabash.
Children's Act.
No, andina kumboverenga children's act. Andamboverenga, but ndine something chandakamboverenga about this one, and I read it very well. So the accused, a 15-year-old juvenile, was charged with and convicted of rape as defined in section 65 in brackets 1 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act, chapter 9.23. The accused raped a 14-year-old neighbor during the night as they were both sleeping in the same hut. The accused is friends with one of the complainant's brother. On the fateful night, the accused went to the complainant's home to see his friend. Unfortunately, the friend was not at home. When the complainant and her other brothers retired to bed, the accused joined them. And when the complainant and her other brothers retired to bed, the accused joined them, right? So the complainant and her brothers were sleeping in the same hut. During the night, the accused raped her. The accused denied the charge and was convicted after a full trial. Let's talk about this issue. It's a child, 14-year-old, raping another child who is it's a child, 15-year-old, raping another child who is 14-year-old. How do you address these issues? It's a child. Is it because they were living in the same hut? Is it because of the social issues? Is it because of the child being mentally unstable, or is it because it's now nature? What do you understand by this crimes that are being committed by children?
Okay, according to the Criminal Codification Act, Section 70, it is indeed a criminal offense for minors to engage into sexual activities at an early age. So, like what I said earlier, the way we behave is because of the environment and the parental skills.
So the problem with this story is that we don't necessarily know the setup of the child who raped the other child, right? The 15-year-old boy. But then I would feel that probably they say yes, their social background was good, right? And what would have caused him to rape the 14-year-old child?
It can all trace back to social media.
Is it social media that is affecting children?
Social media is indeed playing a role in juvenile delinquency.
How? Tell me more.
Pornography, the thing that we don't.
But then pornography.
We want to put all those things.
But then pornography, right? I know some children are watching pornography. It's really bad to see that your child is watching pornography online. But then sometimes these children are in the rural, because they mentioned that there was a hut, which means it's in the rural setting, right? Do we really have to say that it was pornography in that setting?
Okay.
But then I understand that pornography contributes to juvenile delinquency.
Okay, Cruize.
Yeah.
There's a situation that this is a hut. Yeah. And I do understand we do come from different backgrounds with different social classes. Most people in the real, they share one heart, the boy child and the girl child, and also the parents in some
sharing the same heart, which is very wrong. But then in the urban areas, it's also happening that you find that a family with what do you call it? 4 people, a family of 4. They're living in the one room.
Yes.
Is it really advisable for people who are living in that scenarios that who have minors in their custody?
Actually, it's not advisable, because I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do they practice their conjugal rights in the presence of the kids?
I think they do that when they're asleep, or or they do that. Or they do that in the afternoon when children are not at home.
Okay. That's the other thing to be concerned about. You know what? There are things that we do not knowing that these kids are actually watching and noticing. I think that's where they're getting those kind of negative behavior from the parents. It's something that we learn from our parents, and then we practice it into the future. So it can all be blamed on the parents.
Okay, let's move on to child abuse. We have the punishment and what we know them. The children are being punished, as well as the same sentence that are being given to adults, and it's given to them as well. And community involvement. We have social workers who are like Mitchelle Muzanenhamo, who are trying to reduce the crimes that are committed by children. So child abuse is a heartbreaking issue that the reality affects, and the reality is affected with countless children worldwide. And let's shed light on this sensitive issue. Children are being abused out there, and let's not talk about crimes. Let's just talk about children being abused in the fact that they're being beaten a lot of times. They're being done, not even given food. How do you deal with issues about types of child abuse? Let's start talking about the type of child abuse that are there in Zimbabwe, with particular respect to Zimbabwe and Africa.
Okay, there are various forms of child abuse outside by physical abuse. physical abuse, that are physical injuries that are done to a child. These include maybe beating, and these are evidenced by marks on the child's body or maybe scars that are not healing fast. That's an indication that this child is being abused. And we also move to
Emotional abuse.
emotional abuse. Emotional abuse, this is when we say the child is suffering mentally. It's either that child is being yelled at, and especially when you are not living with your real parents, you tend to suffer a lot of emotional abuse. And for us to identify emotional abuse, you find those kind of children, they withdraw themselves from the society. They are prone to suicidal thoughts. They would, most of them, they just think of saying, I just want to end life. That is a sign of emotional abuse. And also, depression itself is also
Mental, yeah. Okay.
And then,
How do we break the silence of children abuse?
okay,
Child abuse, in fact.
what pains me the most are the community. They are the ones who are the first to notice that the child is being abused, but they just keep quiet.
So what do we do to make sure that we break the silence of child abuse? What do we do?
Okay, whenever you notice that this child is being abused,
Okay, we were talking about the breaking the silence.
okay, we also need to make it known to the community how best can they help the children who are being abused. We need to speak out. We need to make sure issues of child abuse are being added to the curriculum, the new curriculum. We can also communicate abuse through educating them in schools, like what I've been saying about guidance and counseling.
Okay.
We also need to emphasize on those. And I also want to, people have to know about this kind of organization that deal with children. We have Childline.
Do you know the child line by number?
Yeah, I do.
Can you just say it so that the viewers and
Okay,
the
but
listeners? 1111.
yeah.
Why are you whispering? So like you're
Actually,
talking.
I'm not so sure about the call.
Okay, we'll
but
check the child line, helpline, and we'll give it to you after we have finished this video. So, let's discuss the importance of creating safe spaces for children who want to confide in these trusted adults. Because there's some organizations we are helping and supporting in rehabilitation. What is the importance of these children to create safe spaces for them?
Okay, it is very important for everyone to feel open and secure. So we need to make sure that the environment that our children are staying are secure, are emotionally, socially, and physically secure for them, so that they can easily connect with their parents and create a good rapport with their parents. It all begins in the house, the setting. So we need to make sure that the space that we create with our children is friendly. We don't need to be harsh, to be too dictator to our kids, so that they feel free to share whatever they are going through. If you feel like your child is acting out, she'll be free to communicate her issues. That is, if you have managed to create a good environment for her to speak out the issues. We just need to make sure, let kids be kids, and let's not use the dictatorship type of leadership when it comes to our children. Make them free. They have to feel free at home, and also make it known to them that mistakes are common. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's not be harsh on them. Just be another friend for them.
I was checking on what is written on this T-shirt.
Okay.
It's called Ministry of Public Services, Labor and Social Welfare. As well, I have this one. It's called Family for Every Child. Then there is Forced. But then, this organization, I was once in a campaign, they were saying that we want to protect the boy child. And they were saying, in Shona, it says, ngati rwise kumbunyikidzwa kwevana vakomana pabonde. It means let's fight against sexual abuse, but in particular respect to the boy child, right? So, Michelle, before we wrap up this podcast, this discussion, let's talk about the importance of children in particular in Zimbabwe. What are their importance?
Okay. I myself was once a child, and I believe children do play a crucial role in the development of the economy itself. They are the coming generation, so we need to make sure that we mold them now so that they become the future generation who will also develop Zimbabwe and contribute to the gross domestic product of the country. So children, they do play a vital role since they will grow into adults.
Okay, Michelle, what do you want to tell the listeners and the viewers about children? What do you want them to know? That, I don't know, what do you want to tell them about children? And also, I need you to tell them about global golden youth space development.
All right. Children, they learn through modeling, through observing. So you have to take heed of whatever action we do at home in the presence of the child. Since they are the ones that will affect the child at an early stage, you find out that a child that grew in a gender-based violence setting, that child is prone to be abusive in the future, and also that child will also suffer from stress, depression, and all those. So we need to make sure we create safe space environment for our kids to grow in, since we are responsible for molding their behavior and creating social platform for them, and also creating social interaction. So it all begins at home. It all begins with us parents knowing the do's and don'ts in the presence of the child, and also knowing the kind of environment that we need to expose our children into.
I want to talk about the Children Amendment Act. It is now law for parents and guardians to be liable for crimes committed by their parents. This is according to Zimbabwe now .co.zw. It is now a law for parents and guardians to be liable for crimes committed by their children under the Children's Amendment Act. The newly gazetted Children Amendment Act stipulates that parents who fail to discipline their children, leaving them to commit crimes, will be liable for criminal charges. A parent or guardian can be charged and convicted of an offense that a child commits if proven that they did not take responsible steps to stop the child from committing an offense. And according to the section 13 of the Act, a parent or guardian who fails to prevent their child from committing a crime shall be punished for the offense that the child committed. It says, any person, including a parent or guardian of the child, who encourages the child to commit an offense, or trains the child in the commission of an offense, or knowingly provides the child with facilities to commit an offense, or being a parent or guardian of a child fails to take responsible steps to ensure that the child does not commit an offense where the parent or guardian of the child was in position to take any steps, shall be guilty of an offense, liable to the penalties that will have been imposed on him or her had he been guilty of the offense that the child committed. Let's talk about this act.
Okay.
Is it reasonable?
No, the act itself is a bit controversial.
Because you find that the children might want to commit crimes because they know that their parents will be liable for
their actions.
Yeah,
and you know what? We are Zimbabweans, and culturally, corporal punishment is legal in terms of the Zimbabwean culture.
Only 6 strokes. A child is only liable for 6 strokes.
Yes, indeed, it's 6 strokes, but that's another form of disciplining a child.
But then, would you give someone who has raped someone 6 strokes?
No, you can't.
You cannot do that.
But remember, you know what, Cruize, I remember the story that you have been reading out from
the 15-year-old boy who raped. Yeah.
No, the other one who was, I don't know.
Was abused by the mother?
No, by the father who actually
raped. Oh, a 23-year-old father who raped a 4-year daughter.
Yeah. So you find out some of the things that are in the constitution are a bit controversial. We can't say a parent is to be blamed and should take actions for whatever criminal
Let me
activity.
give you an example.
Okay.
So the accused was initially charged with the crime of murder of his 4-year-old daughter at
Exactly.
Anandlovu's homestead in
Exactly.
Lambuzi, Matebelele South. The accused pleaded not guilty and offered a limited plea of guilty to the lesser charge of culpable homicide. Right? The
Yes.
accused resides at his hometown. Let me just fast forward to what happened. On the 26th of November of September 2015, at around 17 hours, the accused arrived at Anna's homestead where he resides from a part-time job. The accused had passed through a friend's homestead where they drank opaque beer. They were drinking, and upon his arrival at home, the accused was told, 4-year-old daughter to go and fetch the goats and tie them, right? And the daughter took long to come back from home from the field. And do you know what happened? The accused had to give the deceased. Now the deceased was given strokes, right, by the father, right? And when the accused returned home, he reprimanded the deceased for her disobedience, coming back. So as I was saying, the accused returned home and reprimanded her for her disobedience, right? Then the accused then took the deceased to his bedroom where he just assisted her by hitting her with a jatofa switch. The accused then took the deceased to a kitchen so that she could eat her supper. The deceased, however, did not eat much as she was still grumpy and being assisted. The accused then slapped her once on the face with an open hand and took her for the bedroom when he assisted her again with the jatofa switch. Alright? Then in the next morning, the girl did not wake up. She died. Simply because I feel that the Children's Amendment Act would allow people to assist their children or to reprimand their children in the fact that they don't want the children to commit crimes in the next end. They want the children to be better people in the society. But then at the same time, they're committing crimes to these children. So it's the Children's Amendment Act would be controversial.
Okay, it is indeed controversial. Like I said earlier, we have the Children's Act, Chapter 5.06, Section 7. It talks about corporal punishment, but there is an extent to which it is allowed.
Like 6 strokes, what I was
But
saying.
is it practical? Could you know? And then your parents will be like counting. It's not practical.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
not.
go continuous.
Yeah, exactly.
So, section 7, sorry, it actually said that when it becomes to that extent, it becomes ill treatment and it's punishable by imprisonment.
Before we wrap up this podcast, Michelle, I want to thank you for this valuable time that we had, and I want to thank the Golden Youth Space Development for its work that it has been doing to the youth and everyone. What are your last words? Maybe you can share your social media handles and everything that you want your viewers to follow you on.
Okay, actually, you didn't give me the chance to explain the organization.
Oh, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Can.
Okay, Golden Youth Space Development Organization. It's an organization that deals with youth. We help them restore low social functioning and help them identify needs and mentor to attend those needs. So the organization has 4 branches. We have the youth space where we deliver counseling services to the youth.
Guys, I'm part of the youth space.
Yeah.
I'm part of the youth space at 9, right? Is it at 9?
Exactly,
Yeah, I'm part of the youth space at 9.
So, and then the other wing is youth development, where we equip youth with skills necessary for development. And then we have youth chat, the one that is
Oh, the youth chat, the one that's been skyrocketing everywhere.
exactly that the platform that we use on daily basis, that is WhatsApp, where we get to educate ourselves and on issues to do with sexual reproductive health, gender-based violence, mental health as well. And the last wing, remember I was talking about children. We do have kids, though it is a youth-based organization, but we do cater for children as well below the age of 23. So the other wing is a youth-friendly unit where we get to cater for the needs of children.
Okay. I want us to talk about where we are. Our listeners and our viewers. We are at Zimnaka. It's a traditional restaurant, bar, and bottle store. Zimnaka is one of the best restaurants that you can get in Marondera, and this is the best thing that you need to look into. And I want to shout out to Zimnaka for allowing us to do this podcast at their venue. And please, you have to check them on Facebook, which is Zimnaka, traditional restaurant, bar, and bottle store. And on Facebook, on Twitter as well, it's Zimnaka, traditional restaurant and bar, bottle store. It is our collective responsibility to protect and nurture our children by addressing these social issues head on. We can create a safer and brighter future for them. Let's stand together and work towards a society where every child can thrive, right? And I want to also thank the Youth Democracy Cohort. Michelle, have I told you that this podcast is governed by the Youth Democracy Cohort, which is an organization that advocates for leadership and influence in youth, right? And with particular respect to the Cruize podcast, the Youth Democracy Cohort has been a very supporter of us. And I want to thank also the United Nations Federation Conference for Climate Change under the Young or Human Rights and Working Group. It's been helping us a lot, and it's been helping us strive on the human rights everything. So I want to thank those organizations, and I want to also thank the Ministry of public service, labor and social welfare for protecting the boy child, which is a very good thing. And before we close up this podcast, I want to play a song called Ndakareva One from Felinandi. This is Ndakareva Wani by Felinandi. The reason why I played this song is because we have told you that children are very important, and we don't want you guys to be committing crimes against them and letting them commit crimes, because we have told you where to report and where to deal with issues. So don't say that we never told you these things. Takareva Wani na Michelle, it's our thing that we did. So don't be the perpetrators or the victims and anything that hinder the growth and well-being of children. Thank you for joining us today as we shed light on social issues that are affecting children, with particular focus on crime, juvenile delinquency, abuse, and the Children Amendment Act that has been imposed by Zimbabwe. Remember, change begins with awareness and action. Let's be there. Let's be the ones that bring change to our children. And I want you to stay tuned on more insightful conversations that we have on Cruize Talk Podcast. And this is your host, Cruize Makaveli. I'm signing out, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Cruize Talk Podcast. This podcast has been the best podcast in Zimbabwe, and last year we were on number 9 on social and arts, and last time we were number 1 on all podcasts in Zimbabwe. Wow. And we want to thank everyone who has been voted us, and I want to thank the South African people. I know Zimbabwean people are viewing the podcast and listening to the podcast, but the South African people made us in top 5 on Spotify Wrapped, and I want to thank those guys for also voting us, even though the Zimbabwean people were not voted. And I want to also thank the Zimbabwean people for being the 79% players of the podcast, which is a very huge number. We thank you, Zimbabweans. And I want to also thank people from around the world, the global podcast. Cruize Talk Podcast has reached a global audience from the USA, Brazil, Canada, Argentina, the UK, Germany, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and South Africa, Botswana, Ghana, Nigeria. And we want to thank those guys for being there for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to buy us a coffee on www.buymeacoffee.cruizetalk.com/Cruize Talk Podcast. Thank you. I'm signing out. never told you you were live. Like, you were recorded. For real?
For real.
Yeah, for real.
Changa which part?
Everything that we were talking about. No, I won't edit. I'll keep it. It's live. It's still live. This is Cruize Makaveli on Cruize Talk Podcast, and I'm signing out.
Preview.